Oh, okay, guys. Hopefully, you guys can hear me all right. I think I'm doing pretty good on the audio side. Should be pretty good right now. So let me make sure I got everything running. I think we're having some issues on Rumble for some reason. I think my stream key or something got misaligned, or it's not playing on there, but that's fine. We're gonna download the last couple episodes that have not been on there, and we'll get them on there later. Anyways, hopefully everyone's doing pretty good. Sorry for starting a little bit late, but I had to get the last couple things around. So yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty good show. We're actually just going to pretty much take a look and listen, most importantly, at Mr. Paul Freeman, what he says in his different experiences. And we'll take a look at some interviews and probably start off watching and looking at. Let me get myself up here. Start looking at and watching the famous footage that he filmed, the second one, and we're actually going to watch both of them, the first and second one. So the Paul Freeman footage, is what everyone recognizes, is actually the second film. We'll actually take a look at the first film, and I tried looking a little bit for interviews and stuff later after he had filmed, obviously, both. For most of the stuff that I could find, he talks always about the second one, and we hardly ever hear about the first video that he shot. Actually, a lot of people don't even know about the first film. So we're going to take a look at both of those, and then we're going to take a look at Freeman talk before he shot both of those films, and he's going to talk about photographs that him and his son took actually. And so we're going to be bouncing around and listening and looking at what Freeman says in different interviews. And in this particular interview, actually, he says some pretty interesting stuff that I never heard before related to, I believe, his second Freeman footage that he filmed. And so once we get into that and stuff, so pretty much we're going to take a look and jump on some other people's YouTube videos that they provide, these old documentation, especially at the Freeman speaking at some of these early like conferences and symposiums and stuff. So thankfully, some of this footage that we're able to view today was saved by multiple people and kind of piggybacked onto YouTube for us to watch and stuff. So a lot of this, if it wasn't for a couple different people, probably wouldn't be as accessible as it is. Especially the first Freeman film. It's not easily accessible for people to watch. Not something that really a lot of people even know about. So I'm going to pull up. Probably going to watch the first one, then we'll watch the second one in its entirety, from what I've found. And then we're going to go listen to Paul Freeman at before he took these films. Sorry, trying to do a couple things at once. So we're going to look at these famous, of course, why everyone knows Freeman, and of course he took a lot of casts and stuff. We might probably get into some of that discussion, read some articles on articles debunking that, written by other people back in the day. I can't remember. Oh yeah, okay. So let me pull that up. So then we'll listen to him talking about the symposium, give or take. It's about 15, 20 solid minutes, but I think it's really good for him to describe, especially the photograph, which, again, not a lot of people have seen or know about, that him and his son took. And get the background information of actually talking about his research area. And then we're going to take a look at the small little interview that he gives. And then I think we got couple more, so we'll fill up an hour, maybe two. Hopefully not go over too crazy or nothing. All right, so hopefully everyone's doing good. We are going to play the first Freeman once I get it all loaded up here, get my screen sharing. And share the audio. And you guys can see the video. Okay. You guys can see everything, looks like. I want to maximize the video. No, I want to change my screen around a little bit, see if I can remove the background overlays. Which I might not do, which is okay. I don't know. Maybe you guys aren't seeing as much as what I'm seeing. All right, so we're going to play this. This is the very first Freeman footage that he actually filmed. So let's take a listen to this.
God damn, there it is.
house real quick.
Holy Christ, I've been waiting 10 years for this.
I want you to just take a look, listen to what he says and stuff. And then I actually got this off of course, Brent, because you can't really find the original footage anywhere on pretty much the internet. It's very basically it's under I think there's I can't remember who if it's Sasquatch Archives who has it, but someone has an unlisted link to it and stuff, but it's not made public. And basically I think Brent had it and did his little commentary on it and put it out there and stuff, so I was able to grab it and put it out there because it should just be out there. Not a lot of people know about it. For some reason, it's still not made public. The original is not made public. So that's why you're hearing music and stuff, and I've overlaid some other music onto it and stuff so it wouldn't get in trouble and stuff. But this is basically public dissemination of information, of video footage, actually historic video information. So shouldn't be no copyright issues and stuff like that, especially since it's always been pretty much put out there for the public to see and stuff. Now, there's a very small clip of this in this one interview that we'll take a look at, but other than that, I haven't been able to find the entirety besides what Brent put out and where he got it from, which I don't want to misquote him and stuff. I thought he was from, because a lot of the stuff is from, like Sasquatch Archives and some of these other people who held on to a lot of videos and audio recordings and different interviews and stuff that other people have made, but they've seen the value of holding on to these historical information that would have been lost to the wind if several different people did take the time and diligence to archive some of this stuff. So let's continue to play this footage. We'll probably play it back just a little bit.
Holy Christ, I've been waiting 10 years for this. Son of a bitch. That's it for sure. God damn, it comes through right here. Somewhere's right along here. Come across here.
So this is where Brent actually speeds it up 1.5 speed. So that's why the original footage, if it was out there, it'd be nice for us to actually get it and stuff, just to actually have records of it. If anyone wanted to actually enhance and stuff, most original copy would help, even though it was shot on film. I believe all of his stuff was shot on film. And he does make a comment on this next video we'll watch of him. So this was shot in April 1992.
No, it did. Been a long time coming. Went right down this whole road. The whole road here. Sure as hell. Oh, goddamn. Come right down through here. I know it did. Had to have. Oh yeah, here it is. There's his tracks. Yeah. Yeah. Right there. There's one. No, my heart's beating 100 miles an hour.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
He's breathing.
Man, oh man. Where'd that critter go? Going into the timber, man, it's dark in there too. Dark, dark, dark. In this timber. Had to come right through here. Oh. Wonder where. Went through here at. Someplace. Through here. Man. Wait. A long time. Something like this. Well, it's dark in here, ain't it? I know he come this way. Had to. Had to come this way. I think I'm above where he come through. There's some snow right here. Maybe this will do it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, so we're gonna stop it right there. So it's kind of interesting. I think Brent did a good job pointing this out. How he walks up and the Bigfoot takes a couple steps into the only patch of snow that you see right there to leave evidence behind for Freeman to find and stuff. And this is a couple of years after I think Freeman said he's begun researching in this area. I want to we'll actually take a listen to it here in a little bit. I think 1982 and stuff is when he's started going out there and having different encounters and getting evidence and stuff like tracks and marking them on his map. So this is the very first footage and stuff that doesn't really get that limelight, which is kind of interesting because, again, it shows the subject and even shows tracks, and it is just as long as the second one, actually. Let's continue the video.
Yeah, he definitely headed for the watershed. That's for sure. Run around out through here. Yeah. Oh man. Damn. That's one big critter.
Hey Batman, how's it going?
One big critter. Yeah. I should go get Wes. And I'm gonna shut off here for a minute. I done lost him.
So he shuts the video off, obviously, and stuff is what he says, and then looks like he's back at the tracks and stuff. But how's it going, Batman? How's your day been? Hopefully it's been okay. Hopefully everyone's doing okay. I might throw the link out if some other people want to give commentary and stuff on this and all that. So he shuts the video off and then he starts playing it again.
He's headed for the watershed. I'm gonna see if I can find some more tracks out through here. I need to get out of here. That's what I need to do.
Maybe he just keeps filming and
I'm gonna shut this thing.
Yeah, he cuts it off again. And this is where basically you get to a little enhancement and stuff from but you're not able to see much because the problem is that it was shot on film, actual film, and this has been digitized and stuff. That was shot in 1992, digitized, and copied, put on YouTube, at least from one source, then copied from Brent to make his video, and then a copy to put it on my channel and stuff. And that's why you have that background music and stuff that Brent put out. I think he put it on there just because he didn't want YouTube to cause a fuss, to cause a strike. And of course, if anyone else out there might have had that original video and stuff, they might have flagged on their channel, even though he said he got permission to use it and stuff. And it's all public information and stuff because this was shot by Freeman in 1990. he put it out in the public, and I believe he put it, at least gave it to one news source in Washington, who put out a little clip of it in their little segment when they interviewed him. That we'll watch a little bit. So I mean, it's been out there. It's been out there in the news and stuff, which makes it public. It's definitely not a private thing. So I don't think we'll have any issues and stuff showing these videos and stuff. If any of the channels, have issues and stuff, I'm not sure why we're gonna give them views and clicks and stuff and all that. So it shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, it feels like it's been a long day. I was gonna do the show last night, but I wasn't feeling it. I had a little headache and not something I want to be staring at a screen and stuff. My eyes already hurting from the actual migraine and stuff. Not a headache. All right, so that was the very first film that he shot. Now we're gonna take a look at the second film that he shot. Got a lot of different things. I am working on. He did the last interview. It's called The Last Interview I Seen, and it has a lot of electronic distortion. So I used to actually I don't know about wasting some time, but I spent a lot of time instead of doing other preps, trying to actually fix that audio and get rid of that super annoying electronic interference. And I kind of got it out, but the audio is kind of down, so I'm still working on that. I was gonna try to play some of that, but man, I think it's just gonna like blow your eardrums off of this electronic noise. So still working on that, but I need to do another couple edits on the audio on Audacity and stuff. I got basically electronic noise eliminated from all the spots besides where you hear the people talking. You're going to hear some of the electronic interference in the voices because I wasn't and I'm trying to bring up the voices so you can actually hear it again, so a little bit louder, because I'm not sure how it's going to sound like on cell phones compared to a computer, compared to if you have some headphones. But for the most part, I actually got rid of all of it, so it's pretty good. I think we're gonna try to get it everything subtitled, and then we might put that out there. I was just planning to actually listen to it and stuff, but I don't think it's gonna work. So, all right, let's put the next video up. We're gonna share the screen again. Hopefully this works. Give me a second. So if we do it this way, then okay. I don't think I can load it. I think it might be too big. We will see. Give me a second. Okay, let's just do this. Share the audio. All right, so you guys should be able to see everything, right? Looks like it. All right.
Those little ones' tracks that's in here. I come back up here today to cast these. look like they're about 9 inches long.
This is the second Freeman footage, the more famous one.
They're pretty good little tracks.
And this is quite a
Sure
little
one.
bit, you know, like 7-minute video where he looks at these tracks, he's casting these tracks first. And he goes up the
this
hill
whole trail.
and has the
Run around up there to his mommy, I guess. I'm gonna
I didn't
mix up
realize
some plaster here and pour these.
I didn't realize there was such distortion on here.
Now I got my cast made. And there's 4 little tracks there. "32 inches between the stride there." Yeah, I'm gonna look around a little bit more, let these dry. Sometimes they come here and get water.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the August sighting that Paul claims to have. Relic hominid.
Yeah, it looks like they've been here.
Yeah, 3 a.m. 's pretty late.
Yeah. Been one here anyway. I don't know how. It looks like it's pretty fresh.
Yeah, I believe it's April
Around this bush here.
1992 footage.
See what's going
Just
on
played
here.
that before this one.
Oh yeah, here's where. Yeah, there he's coming
Yeah, I
down.
was getting some. I couldn't see some
Shit, he's come
comments
down, went back up both.
on my restream, but I could see on YouTube for
Look
some
at
reason.
that.
I wasn't talking to you guys in the chat.
Yeah, he went back up the road, come down the road.
But yeah, we just played the first film. If you guys didn't see that,
Yeah, look at that.
and then we're going to play this one,
Sure have.
and it actually has the extended after sighted, extended length video
Let me stay.
where he sees.
Yeah, where he's come back up, went back up.
Is what he says on here.
Yeah.
And then we're going to play the symposium clip of him talking before this happened. I believe that was 1989, where he talks about the photograph that his son took, is what he said. So
Look at
we'll
that.
take a look at that after this. And you know, it's
Can't
just
see
some odd
much up through
things.
here.
You know, I think it's
I hear the brush popping and stuff.
it's very odd how, you know,
Oh, there he goes. Jesus. Get up here where I can see him real quick.
pay
Get up
attention
here.
to this.
Get a better picture. Where the doggone thing went? It crossed right up there. Yeah. I just wonder. It should be right here somewhere.
Let me see.
Oh God. There's two of them, I guess. Man. Oh. I wonder where they went. Oh, God. Two of them.
So this is the part that a lot of people again don't see. A lot of stuff that we see out of the public is cut off after he sees the second one, and a lot of people said, and he said he's seeing two of them, but here it's more extended length. Now this is not enhanced or anything. I haven't had enough time to go through this. You can sharpen the color, brighten it up, darken it up, make it to where you might be able to see the creature a little bit better and stuff. But again, this has been filmed on a film reel and then digitized, and then multiple copies have been made. Of course, when you put it onto a YouTube, it does its own like compression and stuff for the videos and audio and put there. And of course, if I was going to take this video and then work on it and edit and stuff, there's going to be a certain degree of issues and stuff when it comes to that. But there are a lot of things that you can do without AI tampering and stuff. We're not going to go the Gatewood way, but you can enhance and stuff and make things look good enough to where you can try to get a clear image. As soon as you start getting distortion, and you don't want to be messing around and making things worse and stuff, or faking trying to make things better, instead of actually making it as smooth and less grainy as possible. But getting a original digital copy would be awesome.
I always see them when I'm by myself. Never see them when there's anybody else with me. That's pretty good. Where'd they go? Hear my heart beating 40 miles an hour. Must have went up over the hill there, don't it?
We'll talk about that.
It's so hard in here. Can't see no tracks. I'm gonna look on up this road here, maybe I can see some
Also,
tracks where they come across.
there's some people in the area. That's
The one went
kind of close
up
to
over
where
the hill, looked like.
Brent's kind of at.
Other one must have went up this
Tristan's
road.
at, where you guys are all kind of around there, right? 43 seconds left.
I don't know. I don't see where it crossed here. Up this old trail. I better go back and get somebody. Wes and them.
Yeah, that's the second time I think he says we should get a hold of West or whatever. Let me do this. Does that fix it? You're back into reality. Yeah, the dates and stuff. What I have is I think he took some photographs in 1989, or his son took a photograph in 1989. In April 92, he shot the first film, and then 1994, he shot the second film. Or were they both in 92? The first film doesn't have a lot of information, honestly. It's whoever whoever gave you the original copy of the first film, Brent, would probably have the information. But yeah, so that is the second film, the Fuller film. Now, in that film, he says he sees two. Supposedly the Doug Hychek enhancement of that. I guess you can see the subject better of that second shot where he's continuing the extended film. He's filming and stuff. When Meldrum comes in, have to be the mid 90s. So I think 1994, because I know that's when they started doing some of these interview. What's that one? I guess I didn't pull up those. I found this one interesting at the symposium because he starts talking about the photograph that a lot of people don't know about. So, and he talks about the area that he's in. So let's take a look at this. I do have the, I think in this interview, he gets interviewed by some Washington news place, which is kind of interesting too, because they're like casting tracks that seemingly it looks like they just found, or like Paul Freeman has these tracks that he's casting with a news guy there, like they just found them or something like that. We'll play that in a minute and stuff. I think we should play this 1989 footage and stuff that he talks about, these photographs that his son took and of the area. And this would be a couple years before the film footage. And I believe he says he has seen them in this. So let's take a look at this. Let's get it rocking and rolling. And you can find this is going to be over on the Sasquatch Archive channel on YouTube. And I don't think we're going to have issues. Again, this is public information, historical information that we're discerning to the public for public matters and public interest in our Bigfoot community. This is a First Amendment protected activity. I don't think that we should have any issues. And if anyone gets all butthurt and stuff like that, then I guess we'll have to deal with it. But, plenty of people make commentary and watch videos on other channels and don't have issues. So we shouldn't have issues here, is how I look at it. So let me get this ready, and then we'll start watching that, listening to that. I might go grab a drink and stuff, so I might slip out. And then I might go looking up some early interviews with Jeff Meldrum. I don't think we're going to have enough time to play him on here, but oh, that's not what I wanted. I want you to... Oh, I have to add. Okay. All right. So are you guys able to see that, or? It says you guys are seeing it, but on my end. Okay, maybe that was just me. No? No? All right, let me add that again. All right, now you can see it. All right, I'm going to try to make that a little bit...
Well, first of all, I hate for this fellow to get his talk cut short. I'm sorry about yesterday, I didn't get to talk. And I want to thank the committee for asking me to be a speaker. We'll get right into this here.
Could you put the microphone on?
You can't hear me, huh?
Yeah, that's probably why.
Shut it on.
I couldn't find it.
Can you hear me now?
I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it on the I know it was in thread.
This is a map
Threads on internet post.
that, I mean, very many people see this. I've been working on it for,
Yeah, we might take a look at
1982.
some of the documentation and stuff that sites
Not gonna make it, huh?
with track.
Too short?
Talk about it in the bump.
Anyway, I've been working on this map since 1982. This,
Yeah, there's actually later interviews and stuff where Ray Hinden is expressing his doubts on the Freeman and his some of these trackways and stuff that you can watch. Actually, right here on the Sasquatch Archives channel by Todd Prescott, who's done a wonderful job trying to preserve all this history, especially video history of all this stuff that, again, was shot by, as a hobby for people, never really, meaning to, be on YouTube or like in the news or, be as in historical importance that, we consider it at this time. A lot of people's, this is some of the only way to revisit some of those conferences, some of those talks, some of those presentations at these early symposium conventions and conferences about Sasquatch and Bigfoot. So it's pretty awesome that you can actually still watch this sort of stuff thanks to Todd. And I know there's a bunch of other channels and people who have done the same sort of stuff. So it's good work to all of them.
orange boundary line I've got drawn on here is the watershed over at Walla Walla. It's completely closed to the public except 2 weeks out of the year. They have a brief elk season in November.
We're in Coleman, which is over here somewhere.
Yeah.
Is that still true?
Walla Walla sits here, right here. This is Mill Creek.
Is that area still off limits to the people besides like what, 2 weeks of a year? Or does anyone know who's researching this area and stuff? I know, I think Brent, you're in Washington, and Tristan's I thought he made a comment of being kind of close to this area. Is this watershed off to public access still, or is it opened up and stuff? Because that kind of does lead some credibility of like, man, that'd be a good spot for, Sasquatches to hang out if it's off limits to the public at least.
And there's a small river runs out there that all in places it's 5-6 foot deep and it's probably 20 foot wide. And there's a lot of nice fish in it because I caught them when I worked there. But I've been drawing on this since 1982. Everywhere there's an X, I've tracked and found signs of Sasquatch or Bigfoot. And they're all over. And a lot of beds. I found a lot of beds in the watershed. And we have a wilderness area here, what they call the Wanaha Wilderness. It's in the yellow, and it's about 85 miles long and 55 miles wide. And I've just barely took in a small area of it in 6 years, looking. But so much for that. And now I never found any of these up till 2 years ago. And I find these twisted off trees. Some of them's twisted off, some of them just broke off.
It's kind of interesting.
This one here comes from 8 feet up in the air.
I'll pause here. It's kind of interesting how most watersheds are closed to the public here. That is not the instance here in Michigan. They are most of them are turned into watershed areas and stuff for animals where they have public trails built into them and stuff where it's you kind of just you stay on the trails and stuff. You don't walk off the trails, even though you don't really there's no trespassing, there's no actual signage. There are some areas where it's Um, I've seen one area that was locked off for public access, and it was for waterfowl nesting area and stuff. Is what is it called? Stuff that was inside of a watershed area, but we don't actually have our entire watershed habitats off limits to public access. So I kind of think that's interesting. That'd be some good spots that you might mistakenly get onto if you don't have your maps or something. So yeah, that's kind of interesting and stuff. I guess there's different rules for different states and stuff. So watershed areas are prime Bigfoot habitat areas.
And sometimes they leave hair on them, sometimes they don't. This one has a little bit of hair on it. But I run one here approximately the same size. I cut it Friday. Now I would like any 4 guys from the audience, or 5 or 6, come up here and twist this in 2 for me. Any 4 or 5. I don't care who it is. There's no way you can twist that in 2. You'll break it maybe by laying it on the stage here and jumping.
Who's that who walked up there?
But you're not going to twist it and shatter it like this.
Oh, shit.
And we have, I have some that's 5 inches, 4 or 5 inches through that's done that way, as high up as 11 feet up in there. Plus I find a lot of claw marks on trees. Grover's seen those. Of 10 feet. Scratch marks. They're not claw marks because they're too wide for claws. They look more like fingernail marks. And plus we find where they've apparently backed up against a tree and rubbed, because you can see hair that's matted in the bottom.
I'm sure the watersheds are.
And I have some slides.
Hang out.
Pictures my son took last October the 5th. And we've been in the mountains since about 4 o'clock that morning. We went into the mountains. Let
me replay this. He's going to give the details on these photographs right now.
You can see hair that's matted in the bark of the trees and stuff. And I have some slides, pictures my son took last October the 5th. And we've been in the mountains since about 4 o'clock that morning. We went into the mountains. And we've just been sitting there, and it was about 10:30 or so. We're just fixing to come home, and we've been seeing lots of elk. And they were a little bit spooky. Sometimes they are up there, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes they'll just walk by and go on feeding. And Dwayne thought he had heard some elk down there on this ridge because of brush and stuff was popping and cracking. And all at once, you got them in backwards here. Okay. Anyway, this was the first picture he snapped. It come out of the trees, except it should be coming this way. Come out of the trees, and he just got the one picture. And it's pretty heavy lag.
Better.
But this one is thinner than the next slide I'm going to show you.
A set of photographs.
This was about 200, maybe 230, 40 yards, I don't know. But he had my camera that was a 35 millimeter, and it had a 70 to 210 zoom lens on it. So apparently he did zoom at some, probably up pretty near to the max. He said he didn't know if he did or not. And go on to the next one, please. Well, there you go. That's okay. They went across there. He just got the one picture. Now this ridge here is running.
Gonna keep getting better.
Kind of southeast, and Dwayne was setting back off over here, and I was setting way down about 75 yards further down the ridge from Dwayne, where I could see off into the watershed. Well, when he took this picture, and it went into the trees. He jumped up and run down to where I was at, and he was nervous and shaking, and he said, Dad, he said, it's going to come out right here in front of you. Well, it should have come out within about 30 to 40 feet of me, but apparently it hurt him when he got up and run. And when it did come out, it came out about 200 yards from us with its back to us. Go ahead and show these. They get bigger as we go here.
With the patty coat.
Now,
There we go.
now this is the second picture he took. It's backwards again. It should be, but it has tremendous long arms. Go to the next one if you like. There you go.
How many of you guys have seen this photograph? Or the set of photographs that Dwayne took and stuff, you know? This is not something that seems to be readily out there. If you look at, you know, try to search up, you know, Freeman Bigfoot photographs and stuff, you know, you get plenty of the second Freeman footage, but you don't get the first footage, and you don't get any of these photographs and stuff, you know. Thankfully, this home video that was shot at the symposium and stuff was filmed and then, of course, saved for us to be viewing now. So, you know, it's pretty incredible and stuff that I think it's interesting that some of these photographs, you know, by Meldrum, right? I know, I think Texas Jackie made that comment earlier. Where does Meldrum pop up and stuff? I've never heard Meldrum talk about the first big free talk about these photographs. In fact, you know, we're going to take an extra detail that happened after one of either the first film or the second film, I'm not quite sure, where he actually claims that he got screamed at by the Bigfoot for like 2 hours, got pinned down and screamed at for 2 hours after filming one of the footage, but he wasn't able to capture the audio. We will hear Freeman say that in a interview and stuff. So I'm not quite sure which film he's talking about, but he says that he gets screamed at by the Bigfoot for 2 hours afterwards. So I thought that was very interesting because, again, never heard that from Meldrum or anyone who supports some of the Freeman stuff. I've never heard Freeman talk about that in some of the interviews that that I've listened to or we've heard. Or, you know, I'm listening to it's supposedly the last interview that Freeman did, and has a lot of electrical interference, but so much so that I actually didn't even want to listen to it at first. I started messing with it on Audacity, and I think I have it to where I can digest it a little bit better. But, you know, what kind of information consistency are we going to see with, you know, the timeline of events of filming the first film, the second film, supposedly getting yelled at by Bigfoot for 2 hours, not filming it for some reason. If we take a listen and continue to watch this film, I believe he says at some point that he did try to film a Bigfoot and stuff, but his film, the mechanics of it blew apart, and the film got out of place and wasn't able to successfully film.
It has tremendously long arms, heavy upper body, not much neck. It does not have no crest on the head. And I think maybe this is a little bit of its forehead and cheek, maybe, I don't know. The light was just coming up over Table Rock Mountain, and it was just shining right in there on us. This right arm is extended out. It is taking a step. It has pretty heavy legs, and they're pretty muscular, but it's awful heavy body. And we have some little spots right here, like its hand might be closed up like that. It might be the tips of the fingernails that's showing. You know, I'm not sure because I'm no expert on that.
Pretty interesting photograph again.
And then we have a bright spot here, but I think that's just sunlight reflecting bouncing off the foliage and stuff. And
Isn't,
this here vegetation in here, this high grass comes up to about here on me,
You know, it just hasn't been talked about enough.
and it's only coming up
It
to
has been scrutinized.
a little
Hands
bit past
gone through it,
the knees.
looked at.
Go to the next one, would you please?
What's the range on this, please?
This one's about 200 yards, I think. I never stepped it off or anything.
Okay, tell me what you use.
This was 400 Fuji.
400 Fuji. It's like 30 something.
And this was the first week of deer season. You know, so there were hunters in the area.
Central Florida Bigfooters.
Matter of fact, there was two
Getting
hunters
that Larson
in this canyon that this thing come up out of.
Maybe take a look.
One of them called Grover here. You can verify this.
Shot it.
One of them called Grover here a while back before he called me, and he talked to me about it too. But he said they got scared, like they thought something. They got the feeling that something was watching them and stuff, and they just got up and left. The guy has a cabin in the canyon further down. But go to the next one, please.
How many babies you can see?
You can see again.
What do you think about
There's
this?
5 little. It could be the grain. It could be lots of things, you know. Yeah, well, no, yeah, you can see it. I think that's what it is too. But go to the next one. That one there is really blowed up and distorted where you can't hardly see anything, you know, except you
His
can
son
see
Dwayne is the one who took the.
part of the face. It looked like it was turned
With any
like this. It was going away from us like this, and it looked like it might have turned back to catch us out of the corner of its eye. And I think that is part of its face. But several people looked at it and seen different things, you know. So, go to the next one, please. That one's nothing there. It's
In the
just,
bushes.
okay, now this is the last one
Quite a few.
here.
It was click.
And
No.
again, you can see the long arm. It's kind of in behind a tree, and it's just going into the watershed. It's in the watershed right now. And the time we run down there to where.
So, you know, Dwayne is the one who shot this photograph, you know, shot these series of photographs, who I know is 12 years older than Michael. So he's getting, you know, up there in years and stuff. But has anyone interviewed him? Has anyone actually had him on a show, podcast? Doesn't seem like they, you know, they did much interviewing and stuff. Was he ever on some of these older interviews back in the day? You know, because, you know, especially after this symposium, I'm sure there were some people that wanted to talk to Freeman's son, Dwayne, about photographing Bigfoot and the details of what he experienced of his encounter. And so do we have any video of that, any documentation? Does anyone know anything about that? You know, again, you know, it might be that in this situation, Dwayne takes the photograph and Freeman is not around. But in the other ones, of course, now, I don't know. I think Michael says in one interview that he was 5 when the Bigfoot thing started to happen. So if Dwayne's, you know, 12 years older, he's at least 17, depending on, you know, I'm not sure if that's 18, you know, 82 being, you know, 17 or 89 being 17 or, you know, but at least being 17 when they started doing Bigfoot stuff. So, you know, I find it interesting that you don't have any information on Dwayne. There's no interviews and stuff, like, you know, especially nowadays, you know, anyone who's had a Bigfoot encounter, especially with evidence like this, you know, back in the day with Freeman, you would think, you know, would have got interviewed by, you know, all the people, you know, doing documentaries and stuff. You know, if they're doing a documentary on Freeman and stuff about his footage and stuff, you know, wouldn't when did he say, oh, my son got these photographs, and include the photographs and stuff, and the first Freeman footage and stuff. A lot of the interviews, especially he's always talking about the second Freeman footage. There's nothing at the same time. Yeah, I know. I heard where Michael said that he's 12 years older, and that Michael was 5 when they started doing the Bigfoot. When his father started doing the Bigfoot thing. So I'm not sure if that was like 82 that he's 5 or so. So at any given age, I think Dwayne is old enough to be, let's say, an adult. All right, let's continue to play this for a couple more minutes, and then we got some more stuff to show.
Thought we could get to see it again. All we could see was dust where it was going off over the hill, and it was in a lot of high brush and into the timber, and the timber is real dense down this canyon here.
So that's the head, shoulders, one arm, and vegetation covering the rest of it?
The head right here, and the shoulders, and this is an arm, and that's an arm. It was in behind a tree there that was about 7 foot high.
Can you describe your emotion?
Yeah, I had goosebumps all over me, and I was shaking.
I was really puffing in the fursuit.
I don't know how I took the pictures. I had an old 8mm movie camera, but the film in it, when I opened it up to take the cartridge out, it hadn't even advanced, and right where it first started advancing, it just rolled up on one side and tore all to pieces.
Well, I think right there.
Yeah, we were, but all it was trying to do was get away. Yeah. When it first started advancing, it just reached out.
I was really puffing in the fursuit.
Behind a tree there that was about 7 foot high. Yeah, I had goosebumps all over me, and I was shaking.
I was really puffing in
He
the...
says I had goosebumps all over me, and I was really shaken. But he didn't see the Bigfoot. His son did. His son captured the Bigfoot, but then he ran down at the beginning. He ran down to his dad, Paul, described the Bigfoot and said the Bigfoot's going to come right down right here. And then I thought he said at the beginning that the Bigfoot never did come. So I thought that he said... Maybe we'll have to go look at the beginning, or you guys can take a look and listen again. But I thought that Paul did not see the Bigfoot and stuff. And then this is where I said, where, he starts trying to film and his camera malfunctions and stuff. So I'm not quite sure if he's caught up in some kind of fabrication in this. But if you watch at the beginning of the film, he tells the story about his son coming down and talks to him and tells him the Bigfoot's about to come up. But I maybe he said what he said, but let's continue to watch this video, and then I'll try to go back and stuff, because I thought that's some inconsistency right there, but maybe I am overlooking what he said at the beginning, and I just want to make sure. So let's take a look and listen to the rest of this film, and then we'll go over the details.
I don't know how I took the pictures. I had an old 8mm movie camera, but the film in it, when I opened it up to take the cartridge out, it hadn't even advanced, and right where it first started advancing, it just rolled up on one side and tore all to pieces. Yeah, we were, but all it was trying to do was get away. It didn't make no threatening gestures at us or anything.
Maybe he did see it.
Yeah, we went down to where it is right now, and all you could see was dust. It was last year, in October.
I can't remember we went to lunch.
October 88.
But you have to remember, these have been blowed up quite a bit too, And, well, yeah, we had a 70 to 210 telephoto lens. I think so, yeah. I'm not sure, and Dwayne don't know what if it was or not either, because he said he can't remember,
any tracks there where he went out of sight, went over the hill or not?
Any tracks?
There were tracks there, but there wasn't enough track that you could make a plaster cast of. I did make 2 plaster casts of where he first took the first picture. You know, and pardon?
So he says it wasn't good enough stuff to take a cast material on, but he still made 2 casts. Where are those casts? Do we have any photographic evidence of those 2 casts that he says he just made while they were there at this site filming the Bigfoot?
No, this is all. Is there another one? Make 2 plaster casts.
Out of sight, went over the hill or not?
There were tracks there, but there wasn't enough track that you could make a plaster cast of. I did make 2 plaster casts of where he first took the first picture. You know, and pardon? No,
I don't know.
this
To
is
me,
all.
that kind of doesn't really make sense. There wasn't enough track there to make a cast, but I did make 2 tracks. But I don't think he shows them here. He doesn't talk about them.
Another one?
Yeah, there's a couple more.
Okay. All right. There's another one. See, each one of these
Yeah, I
just blew up a
knew
little
has a
bigger
lot
every
of
time.
stuff, copies at least.
How far was this from where you first saw the one in 82?
I have a contact
15 miles.
who I could get a hold of who might have some copies
Hold a minute.
from Mel
You could just say 15 miles south
from his tracks, Freeman.
of right here.
Maybe we can get it.
This was on the northwest side of the watershed. Where I saw the one in 82 was in the southeast corner of the watershed, outside of the watershed, right on the boundary. And that you just there was no stench at all. No, it was pretty and black and shiny, you know. In 1982, the one I saw had a stench to it and it was shaggy looking.
There's a lot
have
of
a theory
looking at the ground.
to that. Maybe there's nothing to it.
A lot of
I
it.
think maybe in the wintertime, wherever they stay, whether they stay in the timber, they stay in an overhang, or under a big fir tree, they may drag up. For every elk that's killed in that watershed, there's 5 or 6 wounded and crippled ones. And I think maybe they might drag those up, put it under a tree or something, lay around all winter in there. They got a natural deep freeze. Lay around all winter in there, eat on those things. It sticks to their hair. They crap in there. They lay around in that. Pee. They lay around in that. It sticks to them. Spring of the year they come out, stink like crazy. Through the summer they were in the water,
Interesting theory.
going through the trees, drag off all that shed hair, and it slicks off. You know.
A lot of hair shedding.
Now, you had a sighting in 1982.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that, you know, that's the same exact theory that we have for winter now is, oh, you know, they're going into caves or something and like they, you know, kill deer, extra deer and leave him in the deep freeze. You know, I mean, that's kind of basically it. I mean, unless they're disappearing portals and stuff, right? Got a couple more minutes of this.
And we weren't looking for Sasquatch. And
No.
you were quite shook up about it when you saw it, according to your report.
Yes, it was.
Now here, in 88, you were looking for it. You had been for years now. You had another site, and when you were looking for it, how do you compare sort of your state of mind, your emotions? Because this is not what you were expecting.
Yeah.
You was frightened, or what was the story?
I wasn't really frightened because I don't think they will hurt you at all. You know, all they want to do is get away from you. They're very shy creatures.
Weren't you frightened when you first initially see it?
Yeah, I get goosebumps on my.
Adrenaline rush? Or,
I get an adrenaline rush every time I find a track up there in the mountains. You know.
well, I mean, a large adrenaline rush.
Yeah, I do.
He does
Right.
a lot of
I did.
looking down, playing with that key.
It's the most exciting. Yeah.
Public speaking.
How many, did you see tracks
really,
right
really
along,
nervous.
or it's been a while since you've seen it?
I haven't seen any tracks since last fall. And,
You're watching.
Maybe has a little bit of the tism.
yeah, I watch for them all the
That was a joke.
time. 3 to 5 days a week, I'm up there.
You know,
Sometimes I don't, a lot of times I don't get out and walk, I just drive the roads. There's places where they cross, you
You
know.
don't go up there and camp for a while.
Sometimes I do, yes.
But you never hear them yelling at night or anything?
Yeah, you hear their whistling and stuff, you know. Not only me, Kevin Lindley from Ellensburg, he's up there. He's in the audience. And there's a lady here in the audience, Mrs. Jenkins. They have a cabin on the northwest side of the watershed. She's seen one, found beds.
Yeah, I agree.
And they find tracks and stuff and over around Tollgate, Oregon all the time. Brad?
Let me just ask, this is
Very
the
true,
stupid
man.
question. Have you ever seen a Sasquatch?
Yes, I have. What I believe is
We
a
all got a touch
Sasquatch.
of it.
You know,
Looking for Bigfoot.
excuse my language, but there's no way in hell that I'm going to change my mind about what I saw in 1982 and what my son took pictures of last fall. It is a Sasquatch. You know?
One more question.
Yeah, okay, there's a lot of suspicion going on in this field all the time that something comes with something that looks like an evidence. But I'm interested in
So-
when you took those pictures at this spot, I mean, you claimed it was a high,
Got 1 minute
a very
left.
high creature. Did you bring anybody to that spot later on? So
No, I haven't.
Besides-
I've been going to go back up there and measure it and everything, and I'll have other slides and stuff to show that here pretty soon. No, you can't.
Yeah, good question.
It could be, but it's not.
Pretty much
And
it.
when it will.
Okay, let's adjourn for a comment.
And then they take a break. Let's take a look and listen at the very first.
Get down.
When he starts talking about him and Dwayne's encounter of the photographs.
So we just fixing to come home, and we've been seeing lots of elk. You know, and they're a little bit spooky. Sometimes they are up there, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes they'll just walk by and go on TV. And Dwayne thought he had heard some elk down there on this ridge because of brush and stuff was popping and cracking. And all at once, you got them in backwards here. Okay. Anyway, this was the first picture he snapped. It come out of the trees, except it should be coming this way. Come out of the trees, and he just got the one picture. And it's pretty heavy lag. But this one is thinner than the next slide I'm going to show you. This was about 200, maybe 230, 40 yards. I don't know.
A long
But
ways away.
he had my camera that was a 35 millimeter, and it had a 70 to 210 zoom lens on it. So apparently he did zoom at some, you know.
I mean, we need to get back kind of with this information. Like, is that camera actually, you know, could that camera actually do that? I mean, 230 yards away, 200 yards away. You know, is that the same kind of stuff, or could we maybe, you know, I guess if you got the same equipment, you could do some testing and stuff to see, you know, if they were a lot closer instead of 200 or something yards away, because you could compare the what the actual images look like.
Probably up pretty near to the max. He said he didn't know if he did or not. And go on to the next one, please. Well, there you go. That's setting way down about, Dad, he said it's going to come out right here in about 75 yards further down. Now this ridge here
Here's
is
the
running
next part.
kind
Right,
of south.
His son coming down to
East.
tell him, and then the
And I
chain
was,
of events.
Dwayne was setting back off over here, and I was setting way down about 75 yards further down the ridge from Dwayne where I could see off into the watershed. Well, when he took this picture and it went into the trees, he jumped up and run down to where I was at. And he was nervous and shaking, and he said, Dad, he said, it's going to come out right here in front of you. Well, it should have come out within about 30 to 40 feet of me. But apparently it hurt him when he got up and run. And when it did come out, it came out about 200 yards from us with its back to us. Go ahead and show these.
Okay, so
They get bigger as we go.
it came out at 250 yards with its back towards us. And then that's when Freeman must have got really scared and stuff because he got asked the question. And then when he attempted to film that time, his mechanical film blew apart and was not able to film that Bigfoot. So, I don't know. Who knows? He talks about that a West guy a lot. Who's this West guy who I think he said in the second Freeman footage, at least, he says, I'm going to go get West. I need to talk to West or get West. Come out here. I wonder if he's a best friend that he might have had. Who knows, but Dwayne gets the credit for that. That's why I want to hear any interviews that Dwayne gave, and why hasn't he gave any interviews other than, he doesn't want to. But, if you have a Bigfoot encounter and you are, the son of the famous guy who shot 2 footage, not just 1, but actually 2, and pretty significant photograph, I would say, coming from, the late 80s, early 90s compared to anything else out there. I mean, we really don't have anything else from that time period that we can relate to as photographs and stuff. Or why hasn't he got interviewed, talked to as much as his dad, or at least once? I mean, Grover Krantz, anyone watching this at the symposium would have, if Freeman's son was there, would have gone up to him and asked him, hey, with this and this, what were you feeling? Why was his son not there? Why has his son, as far as I could find, nothing on ever give his story on that encounter? All right, so we got another interview. Let me pull up real quick that I kind of find interesting. That again, there's some things in there that are a little funky to me. Like this. You have a camera ready, and it doesn't work, right? But you get good photographs, and it's almost to me like, if you watch this and stuff, when he gets asked the question and stuff, and he's like, I know it's a Bigfoot. I don't care what anyone says. I know what my son photographed last fall and what I seen in 1982. And he kind of slams his little cane down a little bit. It's almost like, he got pissed off at it. Like what he just showed wasn't enough for them. It's not enough evidence for you guys. And what's the next best sort of evidence is actual film instead of photograph and track. So maybe that is why you get a escalation. Some people think that he fabricated everything, and there's a lot of inconsistencies that we're beginning to find come to light. I guess that's always been there. I mean, Ray DeHinden has talked about it. I know other people. There's some interviews on the Sasquatch Archives YouTube that you can watch. I think it's Renee DeHinden and some other old time researchers going against Freeman and fighting back against some of the tracks. And I know they had issues with was it like Cripplefoot or the whatever names that they have. We'll probably pull up those articles too, with the Border Patrol agent that just laughs at these prints that Freeman finds because they're just that bad. All right, so we do have, see, that's 1987. Okay, so we can watch the Good Morning America footage from 1987 on Freeman. I thought, for some reason, I was thinking that was after he shot the films. unless there was some other photo interview that he did that I must have watched and not. I was thinking it was that one. It must not be that one. All right, so that's not. We can watch that one after we pull up this next one, and this next one's just I think full 4 minutes, so not too long. Again, this is doing a commentary really on what Freeman says himself and some of the stuff that he presented. And I think in this interview is kind of telling. Let's see, where are you? There is another meeting that maybe we could watch too, but it's a little bit long. We might be do a part 2 on this if you guys want to and stuff. Do a part 2 and just listen to what Paul Freeman says. That is the full length one. Where is it? I had it to my phone and I can't for some reason get it to my phone to here, but then we're just going to look at the original. Give me 1 second. Yeah, it's gone. Is this it? Maybe this is it. Okay. Nope, this is not it. Give me 1 second to keep looking for this thing. I can't believe that I must be overlooking it or something. Yeah, I put it in my different playlist that I have saved with a bazillion different videos to watch. Let me look, see. We watched that. What was the name of that? I think it was. Let me look on here. It's almost like YouTube just scrubbed that channel off of my history. Okay. No, that's not it. This one. And this was from. Oh, okay. All right, so we're going to go look over on this other YouTube channel at one of their videos. We're going to jump over to the Sasquatch Mafia's channel, and they have a lot of different interviews and stuff. And this is where I found this particular clip. I know it's floating around somewhere else and stuff. I think there's a longer clip to it, potentially also. But the interesting part is, and since I couldn't find it anywhere else, I wanted to look at it from here, grab it from here. Let me look for it. It's kind of unfortunate that so again on the Sasquatch Mafia, he has a lot of interviews and older footage of potential Bigfoots and different stuff. But we are going to look at the news interview. Yes, okay, good. Yep, this is it. All right, let's pull this up and then we can listen to this.
To say.
See that track right?
I'm gonna have to skip a little bit up front.
Right there.
Paul Freeman has nothing to prove,
See that? It's 13 inches long.
but a lot to say
See that track right there? Look at that one.
about Bigfoot.
He must have run out of here when he heard me coming.
On Thursday, August 20th, around 9 a.m.,
Starts off already
Paul
pretty
says he
good.
drove deep into the Blue Mountains of northern Oregon to a place called Deduck Springs in the Umatilla National Forest.
Well, I just drove up to the pond here, and I know they frequent this area in August and September.
And this was after he shot.
And
the
I just
second
got
film.
out of my little car and walked around over here, and there was tracks here in the mud where I think he was going to get a drink, or I don't know, maybe he was going to cross there or something. But anyway, I must have scared him.
Freeman says he's been searching for the legendary Sasquatch in the woods near the Mill Creek watershed near his Walla Walla home for the last 10 years. In October of 1988, his son Dwayne got snapshots. In April of this year, Paul got video from a distance of around 69 feet.
There's the first
This
one.
time, camera in hand, he was a whole lot closer.
I started up the bank there, and I heard brush and stuff popping up there.
Oh, there he goes.
Second film.
It looked at me once,
Jesus.
and I kind of got a little nervous, and it looked at me, and then it turned and just kept on going, and it went into the brush there and disappeared, and I was looking for it with the camera, and I seen another one smaller coming at me up there.
Right here. Extended part.
Oh, God. There's two of them, I guess.
Yeah, so that was the part we just played, the extended version. And in this news clip, they showed a glimpse of the first film and stuff, which, you know, it's interesting because this is one of the only places you actually see it.
After the incident, Freeman says he heard screams from the direction of the creatures. It kept him pinned down for almost 2 hours. Screams he says he did not record.
I ain't scared like I was scared yesterday. I never have been afraid of man or beast or anything, but I sat up there yesterday and cowered down like a little kid.
Is Bigfoot fact or fiction?
I really got upset.
Paul Freeman really doesn't care what you think.
You know, I don't have anything to prove to anybody.
All he says is that he's seen enough.
It's real.
All right, so yeah, he says after the second film, he got pinned down for 2 hours while the Bigfoots yelled at him. Bigfoots yelled at him, and he was not able to record it. I think he says this. He was scared yesterday. Was this?
Or anything, but I sat up there yesterday and cowered down like a little kid. I never have been afraid of man or beast or anything, but I sat up there yesterday and cowered down like a little kid.
So, was this news organization out there the very next day after this film was shot, and they documented him casting some of these tracks too, or what's the story on this? Because he's casting tracks right there in front of this news guy, pointing out tracks like they're brand new. So what's the information on that? So I've never heard that part. Have you guys heard that part? That Freeman was pinned down for 2 hours being screamed at by the Bigfoot after he filmed it. I've never heard that part. Now, I've heard this interview several times, so obviously I have heard this part, but it's never registered as in the significance of that when, you know, he just filmed a Bigfoot. Now he's pinned down by a Bigfoot. You know, how do you get pinned down by a Bigfoot? Well, I mean, maybe you heard him scream at you and you kind of got scared and you huddled behind a tree and you were too scared to move. But like pinning you down, keeping you there, I mean, let's hear him hear that again. Say that again.
There's two of them, I guess.
After the incident, Freeman says he heard screams from the direction of the creatures that kept him pinned down for almost 2 hours. Screams he says he did not record.
I ain't never been scared like I was scared yesterday.
So there, I mean, it's almost like it just happened yesterday. So is that the actual, did he contact the news and stuff and all that? But I find that very fascinating that he got scared from these screams and he got pinned down and, well, he didn't want to leave for 2 hours, I guess. I mean, not, hearing screams in the woods, I mean, you got some time to walk away because, he didn't say like they ran at him and pinned me down and they wouldn't let me leave because they were screaming at me in my face. But I've never heard that detail. I think that's maybe a detail that's getting left out by some of the people. Because if we listen to possibly some of these older interviews, does he mention that fact? Does he mention that he got yelled at by the Bigfoot? Because I mean, if you've been watching all the footage of the second film, nowhere does anyone say that I read or even looked at has said that after filming, he got yelled at by the Sasquatch for 2 hours. I mean, I think that would be a significant detail that is a part of the footage that, after he shot this, he was screamed at. Not only did he find these tracks that he did cast, but he got screamed at for 2 hours there. And it's just one detail that I haven't heard that makes me really question, again, it's a small detail, but again, it's like when Freeman adds that detail and then potentially leaves that detail out when he's telling it to other stories, maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe it's hard to keep your story straight when you're making up different details. It's just some of the mannerisms that you watch when you watch him at the symposium and he's fluttering around, he's watching and looking at the floor. He's, playing with his cane a lot. He's when he gets asked direct questions, some of the time he looks to the ground. You watch other footage and stuff, and this might be how Freeman gets interviewed because he seems to look at the ground a lot, or so I thought that little piece of interview was interesting because it did show a little clip of the very first film, and then it did show the footage of the second film where the baby's running at him. So I guess I will do some enhancement and try to, make it a little bit better. No guarantees there, but maybe we could look at it and see a little bit better detail of what was he says running at him and stuff. Now, I know when I did there's a lot of different more interviews that we could listen to and stuff that with Freeman I think would be beneficial to see how he talks to people when he's getting asked these kind of questions and tougher questions. And it'd be awesome to get some information from Dwayne. I know Michael has given quite a few different interviews that you could watch and stuff about his father, but I don't know if there's any interviews with Dwayne that we could listen to see his mannerisms, how he's navigating the questions about his encounter and stuff like that. Let's look at some of these questions coming into the chat. I appreciate everyone who's here watching and participating. It's always awesome to have that. Yeah, kind of how you forgot to record the portal opening, but they got him sitting on the picnic table smoking a cigarette. Yeah, he's a funny guy, Adam. I wish I would have known a lot more of that stuff before he came up here and went on a trip with us because, yeah, very interesting kind of a guy. Um, kind of fake is what my opinion is. Kind of fake. He is fake. He is fake. Yeah, I mean, when after meeting the dude, I'm not even quite sure if he even went to the jungles of the Congo. I don't think he went that far. If he did, to me, I don't. I really don't see that the dude went that far. Anyways, we're gonna get off track and stuff. So, yeah, especially, I'm not sure if the news organization was there the next day. That's what it seems to be because they're finding these tracks. He's describing that he was scared that yesterday. But you would think it'd be pretty, traumatic and all sorts of stuff. We do have a lot of that evidence and stuff that he casted from there. So I think, like Brent said, Cliff has most of the tracks. That's kind of funny. Okay. And then we got. We could read the articles, or we could listen to a little bit of Freeman in I think 97 or something after the films are taken in a kind of a little small meeting conference get together. We can talk if you guys wanted to listen to that too. Yeah, there is. The audio is bad. It has a lot of interference, electronic interference. I don't. So that's why I didn't listen to it. I didn't think it was going to be good enough to show for you guys. And then the last interview that is on someone else's channel has a lot of interference that I've tried to work on that, it is 100% a lot better, but I got to do a little bit more tweaking. Maybe I'll put that out if it sounds good enough, but you can listen to the last interview. It's just super annoying. But it's with him when he's pretty old and stuff. I think it was, just a couple years before he died. I think it was like 2007 or something is when the interview happened. So yeah, he's pretty old, and I from what I've seen and stuff, he has a lot of the same mannerisms where he looks down a lot, and it'd be very interesting to listen to that. I don't know if someone could actually fix that audio. That'd be awesome. So yeah, we're gonna do I'll have some more video out. Probably put the Freeman footage extended version out, and then we might do a little bit of enhancement on that, and maybe I'll try to put that out for you guys. It'd be nice to find isn't there like a 4K version or like super high def enhanced version that Doug Hychek made? That would be good to get that exposed to the public, and where it could be on like everyone's channel, especially if it has incredible details that supposedly it's supposed to have. So because the more better enhancements that we can look at and see, if there's two different individuals with two different sizes, was how old was Michael in 94? How big would he have been? Because if there's an adult and there's a juvenile Sasquatch, well, that means there's not one person if it's fake, there's not one person in a costume. There would be two people that were involved. So I'm just wondering, how good is that detail supposedly of this in super high def or whatever kind of enhancement they did to it. Be interesting to see that. Bob Giblin, I know he gave an interview a couple times where he said he has no idea how to use a film camera and that he never filmed anything. And then there's, of course, footage of someone filming Patterson. And then there's an interview where he says that he was filming and knows that he took the camera and filmed a little bit. So I don't know. It's a little weird. I mean, yeah. I mean, when I did an enhancement, I got to be honest. I mean, there is some unseen movement by this Bigfoot that I guess we could play. We could play my video that because I thought it looked like a baby. It's carrying. It already has a baby that it's carrying, and that it does some special arm movement. And actually, Bigfoot Tony thought it was pretty interesting. Yeah, I guess we'll just pull that up. That it looks like it already has a baby, and it looks like the arm actually it almost looks like it pats something on the butt, like if you're carrying a baby and stuff, and it moves its arm really fast, and it's almost something that you don't really see on this film, but if you enhance it and look very closely, you actually see this arm movement that I thought it was real. So I'm kind of at the point it's like, obviously Freeman was obviously he was faking tracks because some of that is more provable, until we get people in an actual suit. And I know there's this photograph I guess I could pull up, I haven't showed up, of the taxidermy Bigfoot that Freeman's standing by. That is, the same height as, say, this Bigfoot. But after seeing the first film and stuff, I thought, man, that was really cheesy, and I was like, man, that really puts a lot of doubt. But for years and stuff, I thought the second one was legit, and seeing the extended version, and there's potentially two different creatures, I want to do my own enhancement on that. And if you could see Doug's, that would help add some much needed puzzle pieces to our equation, because it's easy for us to say, oh, well, Freeman faked everything. And obviously these films are faked, but I mean, he was in pretty squatchy area, right? There are Bigfoot around there, supposedly. I mean, he could have got lucky and filmed the second footage as actual filmed something, and everything else could be fake. It just really sucks. It really it's very telling and stuff when you watch him give his speeches. You watch how he takes some of these questions, how he does look away a lot. You can't find any details on the very first film as much as the second film. Can't find any interviews really talking strictly about the first film, or Dwayne giving any interviews about the photographs. It's kind of hard to say one way or another. I kind of want to hold on to the little bit of that belief that maybe that second film is genuine, that he just got extremely lucky, even though he most likely is a hoaxer at this point, I think, is what all the evidence coming out. I think if we could have, some other piece of evidence that could go shine in one way or the other, especially, a suit, or, one of his sons coming out and saying, we did it. Here's some extra family photographs of us in the house with a suit, or, something along that lines. That's like, holy crap, we know for sure. Because at this point, it almost might be like he might have faked some of stuff, but then, maybe the second film is real. Maybe there is a baby in there. Maybe there's this extra detail that, that Doug, someone has that, it's not put out or anything, If someone has this enhanced high def footage version of it, it should be put out there so everyone can take a look at it, discuss it, put it out there so it can become more public, because it does no good hiding behind this, this curtain of, we got to go ask someone please nicely or something, or we got to pay some money for this thing, or like, how do we go look and find this damn thing, right? All right, so let me go look at my enhancement, and that would be true. And that's another detail that I don't like, is that. And, I don't like that detail, honestly. That's why I thought it was very interesting when I heard that. I was like, oh man, I got to play this because I've never heard this. But again, I'd like the second one to be real, but the more that we dive into it, it's like the less and less it seems like the odds are not in the favor. And it's unfortunate stuff too. But so again, I want to do a little bit of enhancement. Probably not going to be shit, honestly. Probably to be able to tell there's something moving and we can discern that there's a, outline of the thing. But, taking a look at the actual high def version that, Doug Hijack has, or some of these other people might have, we really need to take a look at it. And I don't want to wait for another documentary, or I don't think it's going to be in Legend Meets Science 2 or anything, but that we shouldn't be waiting to see this thing until then, especially if it's already been out since 10 years, 15 years since this super enhanced version, supposedly. It's not something new, is what I am understanding. Let's see, we are old videos. One of my very first. Where are you? Oh yeah, right here. All right, so we're gonna take a look at this. Yeah, I know Meldrum and Cliff support some of Freeman's cast, most of Freeman's cast, I think. I think they have some of the issues when they get into I always get mixed up if it's like the Cripplefoot or the Walla Walla tracks, or some of these tracks that Freeman found that are supposedly are the same tracks from the same individual in different areas. I keep getting those kind of mixed up, if it was the same tracks or those are two different incidences, or if Freeman has some tracks that supposedly are the same individual for somewhere else. I know Cliff talks about he has a couple different sets. I know he has some modern sets of supposedly one individual that the same casting tracks are found in different areas. All right. Let me get this up ready for you guys. And we'll play this little thing. All right, so what I basically have is I think I circle things, or I put a line and stuff. So the red is going to be a red line pointing to the baby's head. A white going to be my interpretation is the white line is going to be the Sasquatch looking down at the Bigfoot baby that's supposedly holding. When you see the blue line, it is going to be this arm movement that shows this padding or adjustment of this baby that I think it's already holding. Baby moving, and then it looks back as so. Let's. I don't know if this is full screen or this is full screen. Okay. Let me make sure I got everything as good as I can get it. Okay. I thought it was. Let me go right here because that's the zoomed in part. So right here, you see its arm. Watch that left arm. So my interpretation is when I did this is that it's looking down. It's holding a baby as it's looking down. You'll see a little bit of this baby head right out there. You see this big round ball that just bulged out. Now what you'll see is its left arm. It's like this. It's looking down. It's holding the baby. You'll see its left arm do a little pat motion, and then it swings off as it swings to look at Paul. So you see this little arm motion really quick right there. It does this little pat, and then it comes and looks down, and it looks at Paul, and then it looks back down to what it's doing. It's not looking at Paul. Right? So some people have said that there's a baby, it's carrying the baby. You know, maybe some people would say, well, this is someone in a suit looking at the ground, watching where they're going. But to me, it almost looked like it has something in its hand. Its arm is like this. You see its arm go like this, and then it swings away. And that's this unseen movement right here. And it almost looks like it's carrying something, or something's attached to it, like a baby gorilla would attach to a mother gorilla. It looks at Paul and then looks quickly right back. Not almost, in my opinion, not quite down, but looks to the side at what it's carrying, which is carrying something. And you know, in this entire time, it never looks at Paul and says, now, again, devil's advocate is it's a dude in the suit. But the dude in the suit has his head like this until he looks at Paul, and then he puts his head back down like this. Maybe he can't see out of the suit if that's a suit. But his hand's like this the entire time. That's a little pat, and it swings out. Which I don't know if someone was in a costume, would you be holding and walking kind of like this, or would you try to do the Bigfoot walk, or how would you have your hands? I found that odd when I did this, and in fact, like one more time, and then I zoom in. The music should be good. I did all that. And you see that unseen arm movement. And Bigfoot Tony actually thought that was kind of interesting. So here we have the slow-mo. And right there, it almost looks like it's carrying something. And something is attached. I know it's very grainy and stuff and enhanced, all this stuff. But it would be interesting to see the enhanced Doug Hijack version or whatever if it's carrying something. Because this, to me, looks like a baby, a toddler size. It's not a juvenile size. So what Paul describes is like a little one is like running at him. To me, it's like 4 foot tall or 5 foot tall or something, right? This almost looks like there's like a toddler size thing that it's holding. And we'll watch this hand movement real quick. So to me, it looks like it's already has something. It's touching it, it's holding it, and then again, it continues to look at it. We'll look at it again. It's a little bit slower. It looks like it has something in its hands. It does the pat right there. It does the patting of something. It pats something, pat, 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 and then the arm comes down, and then it comes and looks way out, and then the arm stays down. Then the arm swings back up. Here we go. Fast. You see that tap, 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 tap. I thought that was very interesting when I did the enhancement. This is not something anyone had talked about or really have shown. Bigfoot Tony made a comment and inquired more, but by the time I had seen the comment, it had been a couple months. So, and fortunately, never linked up to talk about this. So, so I'm not sure. It's kind of interesting. It'd be interesting to see the full version, to see if something else is running, and all that. It could be very well, it could be just bullshit, and that's just the unfortunate thing. I mean, even the way it kind of moves, the way it spins that head around. I mean, I don't know. It could be someone in the costume, but man, it's like either they got that and this is the 100th take that they shot, or they got it perfectly the exact first time. And it has fooled us this for years and years and years. For 30 years now. 30 years since this footage has been shot, and we're still questioning about it. I think that's so fascinating and amazing is, even if this was not real and it's fake, that's the legend of Sasquatch is out there, that, other people have seen it, and there's eyewitnesses, and there's other people that, doesn't have any nefarious backgrounds of, well, there's maybe some hoaxing involved with tracks. Maybe this is a real footage. Maybe this is a guy in a suit. It really does suck that when someone's kind of lied or fibbed or made up stuff in the Bigfoot community, that they could even get potentially real footage, and it does cast a big doubt on it all these years later, especially when we still haven't found real enough, good enough evidence. This is still considered the second best footage if this is a legitimate Bigfoot. I think there's some interesting things like, how did they make the costume? Because I tell you what, this Bigfoot does not look the same as the Bigfoot that's in the photograph in 1988. That to me, this caught around that elbow. In fact, when it shows that one shot after it does that pat and it swings, that elbow is very tight. There's not, to me, my opinion is there's no loose fabric, like a loose costume overhang on that elbow area. When he swings back and you see that elbow and that outline, it doesn't have a lot of like fur and overhang, or like he's wearing a sweater where you could tell there's some extra bagginess to it, in my opinion. It'd be interesting if we found out that there was a costume, exactly how it was made and all this details, because point blank, this photograph, if this is a hoax, has fooled not only me and a lot of other people, but this has fooled experts and expert Bigfoot people, but actual scientists who were not able to determine it one way or another either. So regardless, I think it is beneficial to learn about. Just as beneficial if it turned out to be a person in a suit and stuff, because, we could learn about how it tricked all of us for 30 years. And then, of course, the opposite. If this was proven or maybe more evidence came to light of maybe it could show it was real, high def version, you could give a little bit more credence of, Sasquatch is out there, of course. But this particular one was true, that Freeman got lucky one time at least, or maybe not everything that he claimed was fake. Maybe it could be the Ivermark syndrome, where I think that's what Steenberg Thomas says happened to Freeman is he pretty much got Ivermark syndrome, where maybe something real stuff happened and then started faking stuff to become in the limelight, and maybe some more stuff happened again, because you are going out in those areas that have Bigfoots, and maybe you did see Bigfoots, and so you fall down this bad rabbit hole of faking stuff to be popular, to stay in the limelight, getting real stuff. So I think it's interesting. I don't believe that, when I hear he filmed this and then he got, 2 hours of Bigfoot screaming at him, is that a fabrication to the story? I don't know. I don't like that part. So anyways, we're about 2 hours. I think we're probably going to call it a night, since it was a little bit later on this Tuesday night. We'll try to go about 9 o'clock on a Tuesday. I know everyone gets work and stuff, but let me take a look at some of these stuff, some of these comments and stuff. I think we'll do another, maybe next Tuesday, we'll do a second parter, and we'll take a listen to another interview with Paul Freeman, as long as it's up. Sometimes, you watch these videos, you take a look, and sometimes, they end up disappearing and stuff. So, so we'll probably do that. We'll probably go over the articles about the people who had doubts of the tracks, mostly the Border Patrol agent Harding, I believe his last name was, the tracker who pretty much takes a look at photographs of Freeman and some of the stuff that Grover Krantz provides, and basically laughs at him as preposterous. This Saturday, we are going to have a awesome special show at 9 p.m. We are going to have Val, the data miner, on, and this is going to be an awesome show where we're going to get him to bust out all the as much as we can. Anyways, we're going to get him to present some of the information that he's categorized and cataloged, all the sightings, over 2,200 and something sightings in Michigan. We're going to have him open up the books about Michigan, give him a little insight of some of these different variety of encounters that are not really reported, and give us some potentially some numbers on some of these other states that are well above the BFRO sighting reports. If you guys got questions, comments, and concerns, get ready for them, because this is going to be an awesome time to ask. So he profiles Bigfoots the same way that you would profile a serial killer. This is ex-law enforcement officer, 25 years in the force, lots of experience, and data mines Bigfoot sightings and research and different encounters that people have, and categorizes them, and has multiple different categories of Bigfoot and keywords and places and habitats and habitation and behaviors and stuff. A lot of stuff that you might not hear about. He has several reports of people getting peed on by a Bigfoot, or their tent is getting a waterfall of piss on them. actually. So we'll take a look at some of those probably more violent reports, some of I mean, I don't know, whatever he got, what if he's willing to share and stuff. So look out for that show Saturday night, 9 p.m. It'll be at least an hour show. We'll try to get 2 hours out of Val. I know he'll probably be eager to talk and maybe have some people on. You know, it'd be very interesting to have Val on with a nice group talk with like Nikki and Val and you know, Jeff and Brent and everyone else talking about different you know, topics that Nikki's had and Pat's had on their shows concerning population, maybe the narrative, how come drones aren't finding them, and all this other different stuff that you know, we would think that, you know, modern technology, modern people would be able to see and to show. So all right, so you guys can look at my Bigfoot enhancement of the Freeman footage, which I think there was potentially a little baby in there. It's actually one of a few things in what I think, you know, potentially there's something that this person in a costume is wearing and holding, or there's a Bigfoot that's holding something, or it is the pixelization and digitalization of the pine tree that is behind the Bigfoot as whatever it is moving. It's hitting these pine trees and stuff, and sometimes you might have a little bit of this. It's very circle. It's not like it's a square pixelization. It's very circle. You have this round, what I think as a baby head right there. Might be possible distortion of the pine tree that's in movement, that somehow it turned the square pixels into like a very round circle. But that would be the most simplest answer, is we're getting some background interference from that pine tree movement along the silhouette of the Bigfoot or the person in the costume that's making it look like it's holding something. But that arm movement is very interesting. I'm not sure exactly what was going on there with the person in a costume doing a little pat right there. I'm not sure. So there's a couple of good things, a couple of things I don't like about it, a couple of things I don't believe with Freeman, a couple of things I kind of want to hold on to. We can see this evidence of this high def version. You know, maybe it can shine some better light, and maybe, if anything, you'll probably just put more question marks on everything instead of answers. But it's fun to get into this, to look at stuff, to kind of discern what we can figure out. If, you know, was Paul hoaxing everything, or maybe, you know, he had the Ivor Mark syndrome of, you know, some of the stuff's true, some of the stuff he just, you know, got too obsessed, wanted to make a name for himself, felt, you know, this popularity, this fellowship of, you know, everyone wants to go to you for answers because, you know, you have the answers because, you know, you've seen Bigfoot and you're casting tracks. And that could be a very slippery slope where people can feel empowered, or, you know, get their social batteries recharged because all the interaction that they maybe are not used to. And then when they don't get that interaction, they don't feel like they're in the limelight or as popular. They need to fabricate, or at least need to exaggerate what's going on to get back into the spotlight. So maybe that's what we ended up seeing with Paul. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure I've seen one spider crawling, and you know, that is extremely hard for a person to be doing as fluidly. They are definitely built differently, 100% built differently than humans, and Neanderthals were completely built differently than humans, pound for pound, much stronger than humans. Smaller than humans, a little bit more robust and stockier, but smaller on average, but many times stronger than humans. And in fact, varying degree, as debatable is how strong a Neanderthal was. There's some scientists and people who think that a Neanderthal could pick you up with one hand or pick you up with two hands and throw you 20 feet. But wasn't built like a powerhouse King Kong gorilla. It wasn't built like an elephant. It's basically what I'm trying to get at. Its mass to muscle ratio is much significantly greater than what humans were built and stuff. And it's not from physical adaptations of muscle fibers and bone density and stuff like that, but it's actually, they are speculating that a lot more genetic factors come into play when we see the Neanderthals' strength and robustness and ability to take damage and keep growing. You have a lot of skeletons of Neanderthals that have broken digits, broken hands, broken fingers, broken. They're all broken. And we see that their broken bones repair and they keep going and stuff. These are things like you snap your forearm and you bundle it up and you keep going, and it doesn't stop you. They have a lot of interesting genetic factors that we're discovering, like more tolerance of pain and stuff, and we get that a little bit in some of the red-haired people have similar genetics to where it takes a little bit more anesthesia to put a person with red hair under. They have a little bit more pain tolerance. Women supposedly have a lot higher pain tolerance when they test it and stuff. But so they're finding that very fast-acting genetic expression can change a species more rapidly than taking millions of years of evolution or thousands of years of evolution. But these genetic factors that can change with environmental factors and can change with stress and stuff, that these genes can all of a sudden switch operation and bloom into new genetic genes that operate at different levels and stuff. Pretty much the same way how frogs or bears and stuff, bodies have adapted to just know when winter is coming, and their body gradually gets into the process of, for bears, hibernation, or for some frogs, where they actually go and get frozen, and then their body, when they get unfrozen, they wake back up and stuff. And it's because their genes get environmental cues that then activate inside their bodies and stuff. So it's not like they're physically activating anything, but their genes are getting input sources from external environmental or stress or whatever it is that changes instantly and stuff. So some people have speculated and stuff that a 12 or 15 foot tall giant Sasquatch, proportionally shouldn't have the muscle mass or bone density to support all the muscle and weight and all of that. But what we are now discovering is that it's not the physical adaptations that mostly make up whether a creature can get so big and support the body weight, but a lot of the more genetic factors actually can come into play, and how the genetic factors can change and have dramatic influences on people. We could take a look at like this. When I was going to have a whole show on this, we'll tell a little bit of this, but when you take a look like Andre the Giant or some of the people who have giantism, I can't remember exactly what they get, but they have the growth hormones, and they have a particular part of their brain and their body that doesn't shut off, that makes them grow and grow and grow and grow, right? We have modern ways of technology and stuff to operate and stop that from happening and stuff, but that is partially some of the stuff that can happen out of nowhere. You have some individuals who don't have any forms of giantism at all, and all of a sudden they can get hit in the head, or even tumors can form and all of a sudden affect that part of the brain and affect those parts of the body, and all of a sudden starts making you turn into a gigantic person. So, and especially when you dive into gene manipulation and CRISPR and some of this other, let's say, like our conspiracy theory stuff, when they're like, talking about manipulating genes and making designer animals, and where you can, you can buy a cloned dog right now. If you have a dog and you want to pay so much money, you can get your dog cloned right now. But they are coming out with, designer pets and stuff where you could change the color of their eyes and change the color of fur. And, they always talk about designer babies and stuff, but it's the same sort of stuff. You can manipulate genes to dramatically and radically change what you physically see and what physical adaptations you have. Instead of spending hundreds of thousands of years and millions of years in evolution, you can tweak a little gene and you can have almost instant evolution. And we'll probably take a look at some of that stuff. I planned on it, but I got caught up with other stuff. And, I have a list of a bunch of dozens of show ideas, dozens of topics that I have plenty of stuff to continue to work on, and got some stuff lined up, but all right, let me get a couple of this. So I think I'm the next show when we have part 2. I know I said I would put the link in the show. I definitely will put the link in the show for other people to come on and give commentary on Paul Freeman. We're going to shut this show down. I'm just going to read through these comments real quick. I appreciate everyone who's made it hard for me to keep up with the chat as I'm doing other stuff, but I do appreciate everyone who's came here and gave their 2 cents. Yeah, so we'll read the reports of the trackers, and I think the ranger who doesn't believe Freeman. So, Bigfoot could have evolved in several different ways, and genetic factors, what I'm saying is, like, when they got a lot of primates don't have night vision. There are very few primates that have night vision, and those are mostly lemurs. And there's one very small monkey that can fit in your hand in South America that can see in the dark, but mostly lemurs, and no great apes actually see in the dark. So they might have had some genetic factor, some genetic expression where maybe whatever, they're getting hunted, or they needed to adapt to the night vision and that nighttime. And I've since we have no fossil records of these guys to show evolution, it might be a speculation that they had some gene expression take place where they adapted to night vision very fast, very rapidly, more than any other great ape, in fact. And we do have, there are examples of lemurs in Madagascar, a particular type of lemur, because there's quite a few different types of species in Madagascar, but there's a particular type that at nighttime, their eyes actually glow. It is actually reflecting the ambient light sources around them, and you can see their glowing eyes at nighttime, which is what some Bigfoot encounters have reported, are these glowing eyes, self-glowing eyes. Now, these Madagascar lemurs have self-glowing eyes, but they're not technically self-glowing. They're reflecting the ambient light around them. And that could be why Bigfoot eyes glow at the dark at nighttime also is not because they are actually glowing, because they are reflecting the ambient light sources, because they are highly nocturnally evolved that way. And they might have both and have evolved for enhanced night vision, but also to keep that daytime vision too. Because usually when you, and we did a whole show on this, usually when you evolve to have night vision, you lose some of your ability to see better at the daytime. So you can't have both. Usually you gotta have a mixed one or the other. Very few species have the best of both worlds. More species have developed one to be better than the other. Humans are a little bit kind of on the spectrum for a little bit of both. We don't have nocturnal vision and stuff, but I believe that our eyes do adapt to the dark pretty interestingly. I have to go back and read some of the articles that I read or rewatch the show, because I believe that humans have a little bit of both, but we're not obviously not nocturnal, and we don't have full night vision. Yeah, it's unfortunately that we've all ingested some genetically modified organism. Viva Monsanto, now known as Bayer, because Bayer bought them. Yeah, we've all ingested something that was basically genetically modified in a lab, not natural. And most likely everyone has ate it who's watching the show. If you're living in America, you most certainly have. You've ate something that's genetically modified in some way. Actually, you ate a genetically modified corn that was genetically modified so you could spray herbicides and glyphosate on it, Roundup, so it would kill all the bugs and not kill the plant, and then you could eat it, and it wouldn't wash off with the rain. That's why it's genetically modified. We got some that are modified for, bigger bushels and faster growth. But a lot of that modification is so you can spray poison on the crop and it won't kill the crop anymore. And, supposedly it's safe for you to eat. That's a whole nother show that we could get into, that we have plenty of stuff that we could talk about that might get the channel completely banned. Actually, Rumble and kicking all this other places would be good. But if you're on my personal Facebook page, I spread a lot of information on all that crap, because there's a lot of junk science that's out there, a lot of crap, a lot of poisons in our food, medicine, in our water. Yeah, unfortunately, YouTube has warned me that I'm definitely not allowed to talk about certain stuff that happened a couple years ago. That is all the information is coming out now. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I could say about that, but yeah. I mean, the only thing you can do is, I would say, is, you got to pray. You got to trust God and pray, because this world will just become so evil and so just genetically modified with poison that you will not be able to escape it. In fact, if you go to any store right now, you go look at the cookie aisle, right? All the cookies, Oreos, Chips Ahoy, whatever you want. You could take a look at all those cookies, on the back of those cookies, and you read the ingredients. That's all poison. It's not food. You're talking about industrialized chemical concoctions that are passed as food. I mean, if you can't pronounce the ingredients on the back of your food, of your cookies for your kids, probably not good for you, right? That red dye 40, probably not good for you. All the other artificial sweeteners, and anything that's chemical, right? Chemically made in a lab. Probably not good for you. Like, why does everyone have cancer? I don't know. Why does everyone have autism? Who knows? Why does everyone have all sorts of diseases that have never been reported in any history, in any cultures from around any part of the fucking world? You know, you try looking up, try finding references for cancer in the ancient world. There is none. I think there's like 2 examples of possibly Egyptian medical literature, or there's 2 references in Egyptian culture of possibly cancer. Other than that, you can't find cancer. You can't find it as an illness, as a sickness, as a disease that was encountered. That's only in modern times. So, autism. So, anyways, that's a whole nother show. If you guys want me to actually do that show, we could, but I'd have to get a lot of comments and stuff about that. But if you want to take a look at the Beast System, which is a show I co-host on, and we do shows every Sunday at 9:00. Maybe might have a show tomorrow, and that is a little bit more of that conspiracy-ended political show, commentary show about famous people, craps happening around the world. We just did a show on these terrorist attacks with these cars and stuff running into people, and this ex-military guy. So we just did a show on that. We might be doing a show tomorrow, I think. And so we go into a little bit more of the political conspiracy side, stuff like that, with that kind of a show. So more likely you'll find information on there. So with that, we're going to land this plane like good old Jeff likes to say. And I like to crash the plane. So we are going to load up our parachutes, and we're going to hopefully make it out this time. And hopefully you guys had a little bit of fun and stuff. We're going to take this new year, 2025, and going to go to a different direction and stuff. So you might see things a little bit differently here than at least last year. We are going to have some guest speakers and stuff lined up. Got some trips lined up. Hopefully I got to contact a couple of different people. They're supposed to get a hold of me. And we got some documentaries to make. We got some maybe new equipment coming. Got a good year. I feel like it's going to be really good. Also gonna have a couple campouts for you guys to come. Gonna have a couple different, like in Lower Michigan, Northern Michigan, and probably one up in the UP that we're gonna be inviting people. If anyone wants to come to Michigan, probably won't be too far away from going to one of those spots. So we're trying to host some campouts, and probably get the conference going. I'm trying to burp or hiccup or something right now. So we'll probably get the conference up started again, or we might just have a bunch of campouts and stuff. I know my buddies, my other guys, my members are saying we should do the campouts and do some different stuff. Get in the woods more with other people. And hopefully have encounters with witnesses. That's the main thing. But we do have a couple things lined up. So we'll probably have a part 2 on Freeman. We'll watch some more interviews and stuff that he talks about on next Tuesday, as long as I don't feel like shit. And then, so like next Tuesday, this Saturday, we'll have Val on. Next Tuesday, we'll probably do part 2. And then that Saturday or Sunday, depending on, we might have look at the gene expression or Neanderthal talk, or one of the other 68 topics that I brainstormed to talk about. Just got to get some information and some articles lined up, maybe some videos, but yeah. So I appreciate everyone who's came and stayed and listened and participated. And if you guys have more information, more videos, more our interviews with Paul Freeman that, has some key details that maybe a lot of people don't know about or could add to the stories or maybe takes away from his credibility, we would like to hear it. We would like to analyze it and go over it, because that's really the only way we're going to get to the bottom of, just how truthful Freeman was about everything. It seems like at least some of the tracks and stuff, which we didn't really get into on this one, a lot of speculation that it's fake. I think watching him and his manners, how he presents himself when he talks about his encounters, could be very telling on if he's truthful or not. But again, this is very subjective and stuff. But hopefully we can get more information, more footage, more videos, like the enhanced version. Maybe we get someone to talk to Dwayne a little bit more, or at least Michael. I know he is a little bit more open to all this, but anyone has any interviews with Dwayne, that would be highly appreciated and highly sought after. So let me get this last little intro ready. If anyone has any comments, questions, or concerns, you can message me on Facebook. Lost Cryptids Conservatory, Lost Cryptids Conservatory Facebook group, of course on YouTube or on Kick or on Rumble. All that good stuff. Take it easy and have a good night. God bless.